What up? What up?
What's happening, y'all? How you doing, brother?
Welcome, Pastor Jeff.
Yes.
You seem so far away. So far away.
Closer and closer.
I didn't ask you this. You both singing. Man, what's going on? What's happening with you, man?
Man, let me tell you what's going on. Look, I done forgot what I was gonna say. But
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, brought to you by
brought to you by High Street Fitness.
High Street Fitness.
Yes, Mike Phillips.
He got his tracksuit on, ready for some fitness.
I'm ready. You ready to
for
get
some
it on?
action.
Got my water. Got my waters.
That's vodka,
You know
y'all. He didn't learn the trick a long time ago.
Yes, sir. Fill it up. Whatever you gotta do.
Brother.
Hey, if vodka don't get you hyped, ain't nothing gonna get
Nothing's
you hyped.
gonna get you hyped. Hey, but yo, where you get the baby bottles from, though, man? I mean, where? This is what?
Hey, if I drink anything bigger, I'm gonna be leaving. I'm gonna go on my way to the bathroom.
We'll be right back. Technical difficulties. Oh man, Pastor Shane, we'd like to thank you for forcing us to take a week off.
Absolutely.
Because of your radical, completely inappropriate.
I almost got fired from the church.
Got fired from the church. You're writing us letters. Pastor Shane was hit, man. He talked about it, man. He said some words that I won't repeat, but he was live.
He was live. Real good.
He was live. And Lady Dela Cruz, so good to see you. Hey, y'all, make sure you like and share. We got a great show. It's a great night.
It's wonderful.
It's Black History Month.
Sing a song full of.
Listen, if you don't know the Black National Anthem by now, shame on you. And I know there's probably at least two Negroes in this room right now that don't know it.
And listen, and we sing it every.
CJ and Big L. I know L don't know it.
I bet you don't know all tribute songs.
Right. Bet you know all the Carlton Pearson joints.
Don't know nothing about the Black National Anthem.
You know all the devotional joints, all them Sunday night joints. But yeah, so every year somebody puts up on Facebook, why didn't they teach us the Black National Anthem?
Right.
And my answer is, you're 45 years old. Why do you not know it by now?
And then every year somebody also puts up, why we gotta have the shortest month.
Why we had the shortest month of the year?
It's been the same month forever. I mean, it's just, you know.
Maybe we just don't have that much history. Maybe we need to just admit, you get what you get. You always get the
don't
short.
throw a fit.
Don't throw a fit. You get what you get. Hey, Pastor Glenn, good to see you. But it's Black History Month in Religiously Incorrect land, and that means all of our churches, at least for now, are going to pretend to care about black people. At least for now.
Well, I mean, thank God. I think Pastor Todd, as well as myself, we do a lot of Black history throughout the whole year.
Oh, yeah.
We just do.
We're
we don't
blackety
care.
black.
Blackety black.
Yeah, that's. But what else is there to be? If the new millennium and the new modern era hasn't taught us anything, is that there are just some things that's only going to be for us that people are not going to come around to. So you might as well just embrace it. That's the way I see it. Embrace it. This is what we do. This is who we are.
And just to be honest, it will turn your church up a little bit.
Oh, it does.
It turn your church up. You got a little Baptist church, say something black. Say something black and loud. Just say, what do we want?
Right.
somebody gonna yell out justice. When do we want it? Now. It's gonna get hyped.
And they ain't shouted all year.
Yeah, all the year.
They ain't said amen to nothing you said all year. You start talking about something.
Ain't nothing happened. You can talk about ice cream. What do we want? Justice.
We need
Justice
more
ice cream.
We need more chocolate, man. They've been doing chocolate wrong all these years. Well, the sad truth is we still need Black History Month.
We definitely do.
We still need it. We need to emphasize it. And the way the education system is going, church might be the only place you hear Black history.
Man.
If the Republicans have their way.
Oh, Governor DeSantis.
They're about to call the church CRT at this point.
Right.
Church RT. And,
He don't want to just kill CRT. You want to kill everything.
Anything
he don't
black.
Want nothing black.
So, that's why I've been.
He want to change the 8-ball.
8 balls.
He want to exterminate all black cats in the world.
He wants to ban barbecue. This ain't right.
No,
man.
you can't have blackened fish no more at Red Lobster.
He's getting rid of Crown Apple.
What? What is that? What did that come?
This is me, man. This is me. I'm your friend. This is me. I'm your boy.
He just threw Crown Apple in there.
Yeah, just throw it out there, man. You never know.
But that's how you get so many people to come to your church. Hey, that nigga know about Crown Apple. I'm going over there.
I'm going with the pastor to talk about Thunderbird. Well, it is what it is, though. I mean, so we have to keep it alive.
Yeah, we do.
You know, and I'm telling all black churches out there, man, stop trying to be so middle of the road. Be black. Have your Black History program. Wear your dashikis. Put your Pan-African flag up there.
That's it.
Ooh, a weem away.
That's it. Pretend like Barack is still the president.
Yeah,
it don't matter.
The last two don't even count.
It don't even matter.
I mean, you know, play Roots. Do a movie night. So
Roots.
do the speeches, you know. Pastor Harrison, I don't know if President Harrison is on, but President Harrison was talking about he has a young man that can recite the whole I Have a Dream speech.
Oof.
You know, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
We should do it. Now, I have a couple of Caucasian members that attend our church, and, you know, I did think for a second, I wonder if, you know, talking too much about, you know, but they know me. And sometimes they be the biggest rah-rah people. They be like, yeah, that's right.
I only got one, but she go in.
She be going in.
She be like, yeah.
We're the devil.
Yeah.
I mean,
forget Whitey. I'm like, what? What?
But it's cool because at least people do, you know, they understand the struggle. And then, of course, there's politicians or Caucasians, especially politicians, who show up, but they don't care.
Yeah, not at all.
They show up, you know, do a Nancy Pelosi with the scarf on, with the kente scarf. But yeah, I mean, I love Black History Month. We're doing all old school, which is funny. I know some of my people are laughing, including CJ, because every Sunday is old school to them, you know, in context. But, you know, we did one of them old choir march songs this Sunday. And again, people will get
They
with
march
you.
in?
No, we didn't march in.
Oh, you got to march in.
I might even pull the robes out for the month is over. I might even put
Ooh,
CJ in a robe.
If y'all put the robes on.
Hey, remember in the old churches when the whole choir and the piano player had to wear a robe and the drummer? I might. Everybody had to be in one.
I went down there in the basement. I looked at our robes. I took like a broom.
You touched one and it fell apart.
It was just smoke coming everywhere. Anybody, I ain't having nobody put them on. Yeah.
And as soon as you sang the first line, everybody knew the song. We sang, "We are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to cry." You want to turn the church up, Baptist church? Just go right there. It's you know, it's right there. So, are there any other Black History Month traditions that we have to think about?
I don't know. I mean, we have so many. I mean, we always have a old-fashioned dinner at the end of the
old-fashioned dinner.
You know, some soul food. You know, some.
You know, funny, we talked about that at the men's event that I'm going to mention in a minute. We talked about, you know, getting together, but it was like health and wellness too. Like we were getting our blood pressure and all that stuff checked.
We do that. Yeah, we do that. Yeah.
So how do you marry those worlds now? Where the church is talking about health and wellness with Black people, but as soon as we get our blood pressure checked, we're going to have
why are we doing it?
We're going to have a soul food dinner.
Matter of fact, it's you're eating, and once you're done eating, you go get your blood pressure checked.
Well,
I'm dying.
What do you do? No, we said do the blood pressure check first.
Okay.
Then go eat the barbecue.
Okay.
Because, you know, you get away with it.
Yeah, right.
But you're trying to marry, you know what I mean? You got the new with the old. Because, man, they wasn't taking blood pressure back in the 60s. You know, they was just up there having strokes in the choir stand and stuff. And that's just the way it went.
Hey, Sister Puzzle, I'm waiting for some of that Sister Puzzle stuffing.
Listen,
she's legendary. Yeah, she is legendary.
She's legendary.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that street?
I saw y'all face.
What's it?
Jeff, people don't know these people's nicknames. Jeff, you had a Pastor Shane moment.
Listen, she is a legend.
A legend.
What's the name of that street?
She is now.
They have a whole street block party like thing where they eat and everything.
I ain't saying their name now. You ain't get me cussed out this week.
I'm not saying their name. I'm talking about what's the name of the streets. They have
Homewood people.
Homewood
block party.
Homewood block party. Yes.
Yeah, only Warren knows what you're talking about, and that's the problem right now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
These feral guys.
Yeah, they don't know.
These feral podcast
Janice
people.
says, "See, New Bethel, everybody used to wear the robes.
You got to wear the robes."
CJ, I'll see you next week. We'll see you next week. That's what it's gonna be.
Now, do you have a Pan African robe?
I don't. I don't.
But you do got a couple.
I got a couple traditionals.
Yeah,
I was getting ready to wear the one you gave me
Right.
last year, but y'all like baptized in mud in that robe.
What?
Had the water stains on it. I was like, what did y'all baptize in lava? He was like, we just usually baptize a few times. And I'm like, where'd y'all baptize? And
Hey, it's a black robe, so you know.
the Cleveland River that caught on fire.
That's all I done. Used to was
No, I wore a regular one because my other fancy old school one with the big flaps, it was at the house. I forgot it. But you know what?
You had a nice robe on for the funeral too, man.
That was the one.
Okay.
And you know what? Now this is off topic, but I'm gonna make it on topic. Now I don't want to wear it.
Why?
Because I've worn it to all these funerals, man. You know, it's like I've worn that nice robe the mother bought me, and now I'm like, I'm gonna wear it, but I'm just saying it feels funny now.
It was really nice, though.
Funny,
I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of them Wakanda joints though.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one too. I'm gonna go and steal one from Pastor Harrison. He got about 1,300.
Pastor Harrison has all of them.
Yeah, I would have to like hem it up.
I think he killed the Black Panther and took all his clothes. He's got the strength of the Black Panther.
And I know, Pastor, I used to go in your closet and help you get them out. I know how many you got.
Right. My dad ain't got none, man. He got some Dickies and blue jeans and a greasy wrench in his office. That's what he has. Well, that's enough of that foolishness. It's time, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. If you don't, well, it's time for Meme of the Week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
We are, these are all jokes. We are just playing.
All right, what we got? You always have sound advice. Where do you get it from? I like it.
Hey.
And you know, with Will Smith being in this, it means something totally different now. Because, you know, now all I see is him just slapping somebody upside the head with the Bible.
Oh, my God.
But isn't it like this, Pastor Jeff, that we're so like anti-religious nowadays that even if it's common sense wisdom that was like a part of the first 10 commandment you learned when you were 3, people don't want to hear it?
Absolutely. But the funny thing is, and I mean, it's people are so outside the box now. Even Reverend Gillespie said that he went and done a funeral, or at the he went to the repast of a funeral, and you know he prayed, and after they prayed, he was clapping. They was clapping like
he had done something special.
He done something special,
and it's like
you know
I've
been there, you know, where I've had to say a couple words, and it's like, oh my God, you are really so. I'm like, you know. It's common sense.
It's not anymore, though. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it has to be some deep, convoluted reason. I blame YouTube for this and all of our Facebook scholars. You know, it could be something as simple as like a kindergarten lesson. Like, why shouldn't you steal? Right. Well, you know, the 10 Commandments say you shouldn't steal. No, it's because Dr. Umar Johnson said that the white man colonized. And I'm like, all right, I mean, yeah, but not really. It's like they don't want to accept that, you know, the Bible, and I often say this, yeah, you can go on and on about history and this religion's older than that, but there are multiple ancient religions that give you a set of moral standards and whatnot. Absolutely. And guess what? Christianity is one of them. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the older ones. So even if you do have this multi-religious mindset, why completely try to rip that out of the history books like it doesn't exist? You know, even if it does have interplay with other cultures, people, you know, come up with that Egyptian stuff and it's really based off this, that, or the other. That's fine. If that's what you want to kind of tie in, but you can't just deny it exists.
Absolutely.
Most of what we believe and think comes for us. If you're black and in America, no matter what you want to think, you did not get your morals from Africa or some tribe somewhere.
Absolutely.
You didn't. You might have read a post, you might have read a book recently, but when you were a little child, the morals and values you got came from grandma and them in Sunday school.
Absolutely.
So just live with it.
Absolutely. They was always there. Matter of fact, my my aunt posted a picture of my great grandmother with the Black Jesus statue. I meant to send it
Black
to you.
Jesus statue?
I got it. I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, the
And
Black
since
Jesus
it's Black History Month, man, I want to see all the Black Jesuses. You know, I mean the Black Jesus Bibles.
I see Pastor Kidd posted his the other day.
Oh, Pastor Kid did?
He
I want to
posted
see
his.
that ripped Jesus. You know that the one Jesus be all
yeah,
ripped.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean that was obviously painted by a woman. You know, and then some. You know,
That's how Jesus got down.
Right. Jerry killed Jesus. I mean, I want to see all of it. That's just where we're at. So, hey, we have a really special guest. Can't wait to meet our special guest. But first, I want to thank our sponsors. We are supported by the wonderful support of the Phillips Care family of businesses. That's Phillips Care Cleaning Service. They do residential and commercial cleaning. They do carpet cleaning, y'all. $35 room per room. Floor cleaning, basic cleaning, deep cleaning, upholstery, wood floor cleaning, move in, move out. And let me just tell you, they do even more than just cleaning. They do basic maintenance. I've even called them about gutter work and fixing up houses. So Phillips Care Cleaning Service and Phillips Care Lawn Service. You know the weather's changing. It won't be snowing always, but if it's snowing outside, they'll plow your driveway. When it warms up, they'll cut your grass. They'll pick up leaves, twigs. Do we still say twig? Spray paint your brick. They'll do all that. Call my man Fernando at 330-219-7916. Let him know that Religiously Incorrect Podcast sent you. And be sure to support Black businesses during Black History Month. It's only right. It's only right. Stop asking for Black History Month discounts too. We're not here for it. You should be playing a Black premium. What you should be doing. But yo, I want to introduce our guest today who is sitting with us. She is the, I'm going to call her, I'm going to make up some titles. She is the CEO, the president, the owner, the founder, the proprietor of CSM Tax Services. Get out my shop, Mike. And she is, I know, worst stagehand ever. No, but she puts it down. She was right here at 2051 Niles Road in Warren, where she is serving everybody with tax season. I want everybody to give it up for Miss Carlisha Miller, the owner of CSM Tax Service. So glad to have you with us.
So glad to be here.
Thank you so much for
You're talking to preachers. You got to put your preacher voice on. You got to be Evangelist Miller.
Yes.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
Hey, glory.
Man,
Shundo.
we're so glad to have you with us. It is tax time.
Yes, it is.
A lot of happy folk out there.
A lot of angry folks out
A lot of angry folks out there. We're going to talk about that.
No, I heard that ain't nobody getting nowhere. The taxes are way down this year. People ain't getting that big check like they got last year.
No, they're not.
Why not? Why not? What's going on?
Because they took away all the credits.
All the credits that would give all of these additional.
Is this Biden's fault? Are we canceling Biden for this?
No, we ain't gonna blame Biden.
No, we're not going to blame Biden. but let's talk about this a little bit. So traditionally, tax time, especially in our community, you just wait almost like you're waiting by the Christmas tree, by the mailbox for them W-2s to come in, you know, get all your paperwork together and run down to a tax service. And we'll talk about which tax services people run to, because we probably need to talk about that too, some of the choices people make. But that's the time where everybody gets a little come up. Now, you know, between the tax breaks, child tax credits, and all these different things, you get a little chunk of change. You can do some things, you know, hopefully that you weren't able to do, put some money away or whatever. And that's like a holiday in the Black community. I mean, we're ready to roll. I know I'm waiting on mine. But as you said, this year it is different. Tax breaks have been changed and adjusted. There's the stimulus benefits that were really boosting those up are different now. Can you tell us how steep the drop is? Like what average, like what you were seeing for like let's say single mother, 3 people, 3 children, and what they were looking at last year or the year before and what they're looking at now?
It's probably like a $3,000 drop.
Wow. Ooh. Wow.
$3,000.
Yes, $3,000.
You know how many Jordans that is? How many trips to Miami that is? That's a whole... How many Spirit flights that is?
God, how many bags of weed? God.
VIP's gonna be hurting, man. The bottle girls are gonna be very upset.
Wait a minute, before we go any further, I see my wife on here. You can call Todd fella.
No,
You call
no,
me
no, no.
Lord. You call me Lord.
Lord.
You call me Lord, woman. I don't know what's wrong with you. This is Sam Solomon.
Hey, Jeff knows we got a couch down in the basement for him to lay on. That's why he's talking like that.
Hey, keep my wife's name
There we go. Back to taxes. So we're looking at like a $3,000, so a $3,000 drop for who? For everybody, or just for people in certain situations?
Well, people in certain situations.
Okay. What's been the response from individuals when they?
You know what? Why so low? Like,
Do they blame you like you're doing something wrong or not
No.
finding something? Okay.
no.
Are there people who are promising that I can still get you?
Yes.
So talk to us about that.
Yes.
Talk to us about
It's
that.
a lot of people out here promising people that they can get them the max that they got last year.
Okay. And
How are
what's
they
that
going
based
at it?
on? Yeah.
Just fraudulent.
Okay. All right.
schemes.
We gonna say the
Yes.
F word right out, right? Put it
Yes.
right out front. So we know it's a quiet secret. There's a lot of people claiming that they can do taxes for individuals, that they know certain tricks and tips and things. Obviously, it's not the thing to do, but a lot of people feel like you can get away with it. You know, what should people know about some of these disreputable, unqualified, or
Can you
straight
name
up
them?
fraudulent-
Which
I'm not putting no names.
No
out there.
names?
But when they say I can file with your last pay stub, that's against the law.
Oh,
Period.
really?
Point blank.
Wow.
You're not supposed to do that. And there's a lot of people out here doing that.
Wow.
So when they
You
ask
heard
me,
it here.
can you file with my last pay stub? I'm like, no. So they were like, well, other people was doing it. I'm like, well, in the book, you're not supposed to do it. So
Okay. Is there a
Right.
penalty? I mean, what's
Oh, yeah.
what will?
like, it's a bank that backs me. If they find out that you're filing with the last pay stub, they can cancel out all the cash advances and all of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know back in the day, especially growing up in the hood, there was a lot of people who would use somebody else's dependent. You got 12 kids and
Let
I
me
only
use your
got
kids.
one. Let me use 2 of them and I give you half my tax. Is that still?
Yes.
That still goes
That's
on?
still going on. Yes.
Now, do they literally like ask you or tell you, I'm using somebody else's or?
Well, they come in and say, well, I'm going to file my nephew or my cousin or whatever. And you have to ask, do they live with you? Have you provided for them? Can you show proof? And if they can't show that, I'm not doing it.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
Okay.
And how much enforcement do you see if those individuals may be being caught up with on the other side of, people realizing that's not their, or that, the IRS realizing that's not their.
Well, they're starting to knock down now. The IRS, they're cracking down big time now. So
Jeff, you can't use my kid, man. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Sorry.
I tried.
I try to use the whole children's church. Like, I'd be downstairs like, yo,
Oh, children.
I give y'all these crackers all year long, man. How are you not my dependent? All that orange juice? Some of these folk, okay, I'm about to get in trouble. I was going to say this, depending on the church. But anyway, but tax season, you offer what services? Tax filing, and what else goes alongside with what you do?
I do notary too.
Okay.
Awesome.
So in the tax world, when you're dealing with families, you're dealing with individuals who are doing this, what are some of the things you see that people are getting wrong about how they do their finances throughout the year, or maybe the way they're doing their dependents or their tax? What do you call it on your pay stubs when you set up for withholdings?
Your withholdings.
What are some of the things that people need to know, or trends you're seeing? What are some trends that you see that might not be so great?
Well, if you're single, you definitely need to file zero.
Zero.
Because
Okay.
this year, no one's getting federal taken out. And that's a big issue this year. I don't know why, what changed, what they did wrong, but a lot of people is not getting federal taken out. So I've been stressing that. Go back, change your W-4, file zero if you're single. Now, if you got 3 or 4 kids, I still say file 2 so they can still take out more taxes so you can get more money back at the end of the year.
Now, see, for me, I'm different. I'd rather have my money throughout the year than that one, because I'm never going to get back what they take out. I'm never going to get it all back. So for me, I'd rather have my money on a weekly or bi-weekly basis than to try to wait for, even if I have to pay $500, $1,000, whatever it is at the end of the year. That's just me personally.
Well, I seen someone who have to pay $4,000 back this year
That's the devil.
The devil is a
because
lie.
they wanted more money in their paycheck. So
Really? See, I just thought that my bad assumption was if you just constantly always, do that the way Jeff mentioned it, that would mean less on the other side that you would have to pay out. So that's interesting. That's good. I want to talk not just about your tax duties, but the culture that we've built around this. It feels like we've created a culture, and I don't hear other cultures talk that much about, ooh, it's tax time, ooh, it's tax time. Like, is this something that you've, what you're saying, and I mean, I want you to, free up and opinionate a little bit. Like, what do you see amongst our people in our culture? Young families, of course. We always joke about the young single ladies, but I feel like that's unfair sometimes, but sometimes it's true, that how we built this idea that this is some special thing and not just a normative annual financial exercise that you just do. How has that become such a linchpin for our finances?
I guess because we just struggle throughout the year. I mean, and they look for that money at the end of the beginning of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you do any counseling with people, like, based off what they've told you, or what they're like, here's how you could do this better?
No, I'm trying to get more involved in that. Yeah. Text, let them know, or direct them to somebody who has better information on that. Yeah.
When you deal with this tax season and this time of year, oftentimes I see where you can go to all these places, and oftentimes the rate of what they charge you, especially to get money back faster. The faster you get it back, it seems like the higher they charge you. And I think oftentimes we give away a lot of our taxes based on getting it back in a hurry. And I don't think that's good. We need it that bad that we have to file right now to get it back tomorrow. And you're giving them, I don't know what the rates are, but it's an astronomical amount.
Like the cash advances, but like Jackson Heward, H&R Block, they jack up the price. I started at Jackson Heward, so I know what they charge. So that's why I went out on my own, because I'm like, why is they charging people of color this type of money to file their taxes? So
now, I know you're not making it a strong assertion here, but do you see those fees targeting and...
Yes.
So we know how heavy that they market in our communities. You see the signs all over. I've never been in the suburbs and seen no filing tax sign in nobody's yard, outside of their house or that.
They don't file taxes out there.
So we're not thinking they're the ones charging us.
White collar crime out there now.
They know all the tricks. So would you consider that another part of the exploitation that we see, same as buy here, pay here, same as cash advance places? Wrap that in so that our audience can understand, it's, these are all almost part of the same system.
It is. Like the cash advances, like you just said, you go in there, they charge you $500-$600 just to file your taxes. Some people charging $600 and $700. So that's why I always stress I'm the cheapest around.
Okay. Yeah, she said that with boldness.
She said it with boldness.
Now, I was talking to someone a little bit earlier, and they were talking about actually the TurboTax and how they say it's free. They have this free TurboTax. Yeah, it's based upon how much you make, correct?
Yes.
That's what they was telling me.
And another thing about TurboTax, I had two people who put their information in, and they came to me. They was like, I'm only getting $1,200 back. I'm like, with 3 kids? So I was like, let me put your information in to see. I got $10,000 back.
Whoa.
So what is they doing? Are they taking some of their money?
Whoa.
Or maybe she didn't put something in right, but
she wouldn't have known just taking their word.
Right.
And she was about to submit it too. I'm like, something is not right.
I'm about to call TurboTax right now because I use it.
I need in on that Ponzi scheme.
Right.
And that was not just one person, that was 2 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, and I think I talked to you about this the other day when we talked, I do injured spouse. So I'm one of the people who wait a long time because they put us like on the back burner like a mug. But a lot of people don't understand what injured spouse is. And what that is, my wife has a lot of college, funds that from when she went to college and things.
Just blame your wife, man. Just throw Tiffany under the bus.
I'm just saying, so what happened though is because I am the breadwinner and I don't have that.
Right.
I can file and they won't charge me the money to that,
They won't take away my
because if I don't do that, they take that money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's good for a lot of people to know because a lot of people are losing their money or not really losing it because it goes to where it's supposed to go. And I did say I was going to just go ahead and pay that off with our taxes, but I haven't yet because I like my money. So
She said, dude.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I was the one at one point with the college debt.
right.
I was the one. Yeah. I mean, so I had.
I don't think it's a bad thing. People have college debt. And,
that's one of the worst things.
And we're honestly, hoping that Biden can go ahead and get that paid off junk.
Right. Rosetta had a great comment that I want to address, and then Dante has a great one. Rosetta said, "Is it true that TurboTax is free e-file?" I know Carlisha can answer this, but I had listened to a couple podcasts where it's a technical yes, they have a version, but they make it so impossible to find.
Correct.
It's literally like doesn't exist. It's like you would never find it on your own if you're a normal human being. And I'm a techie guy, and one year I couldn't find it. So talk about that so-called, because they're supposed to, by law, offer some sort of free e-file. Well, how do they get around, or how do they?
It's always a clause in it where they go say, well, if it's free, you can e-file for free. But then they'll say to get money back in so many days, you can pay this fee or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's another trick of, if you make it difficult, even if it does exist, if you make it so impossible or put all those caveats and stipulations, people are going to go back to, it would be much easier if you just paid the $69 and then it turns into $119. The next thing you know, you're paying $175 for the same thing. Dante said other cultures, communities stress year-end giving for tax return purposes, and I'd add to that certain economic statuses. They know how that works. Does the Black community take advantage of deductions available through charitable giving to the church as much as we could? In other words, would increased giving help us come more tax time? Well, I mean, Dante is obviously on the financial committee at his church. But that our title is called Death, Taxes, and Tithes. So talk about that year-end giving and how people.
And I'm just gonna preface this with saying, last year when I took my deductions in from my church, they told me this isn't really necessary anymore because
you don't see a change.
Right, you don't see a change.
Yeah, but I put it in anyways.
Yeah,
but.
yeah.
Okay. How much do you have to give for it to make a difference over the standard deduction?
Oh, you got to go over the standard deduction.
What is that, like 75 or?
No, it depends. For single, the standard deduction is.
Oh, she got the notebook now. We're in trouble.
She opened up the book.
We're not going anywhere.
She opened up the book.
In the first book of Taxations, chapter 4, verse 3.
Wait a minute, I wrote it down.
Oh, man.
Okay,
I was mad. 'cause I
single
gave
is
a lot.
like 12,950.
Oh, man.
Married, filing jointly
Y'all ain't giving
is
that.
25,000. And head of household is 19,400.
Ain't no black person
Who
getting
is
that.
giving that to the church? Magic Johnson?
That's just the standard deduction.
Yeah.
You got to beat the standard deduction.
Yeah.
That's the standard. My God.
Do you find people? But let's start. Okay, I'm gonna start with say with Dante for a second about taking advantage of the deduction. So you do see some people who do take advantage, or we
no.
don't see it.
We don't.
We don't see people taking it.
My clients, I have never seen nobody really like itemize to beat the standard deduction. None of that.
Carlisha just said y'all ain't tithing. That's what she really said.
they
She
said.
said y'all ain't
None of
giving.
y'all giving no money.
Y'all ain't faithful.
Oh, y'all.
Shoot.
Well, a man robbed God.
You are right now. She just no, I'm joking. But it's true. I mean, I've had people call the church, and one was an individual who used to go to the church, lives in another area, and they're like, "Hey, I need to get this money out." and I might as well just give to church I used to go to or whatever. And they would do that. They know that they need to get to a certain area and it'll get them there. We don't always have we don't have that mindset, but the black community, the finances and the economics of our community is just lower anyway. People are not paying that kind of money to a local church. They're just not. I mean, if you live in a more suburban place, you are going to have people who are giving that kind of money to larger, they're making more. It just is what it is. But we do the tax, I don't know, Pastor Jeff, I don't know if you guys do the statements at the end of the year.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, to be honest, because most people are so far below and outside of some other charitable giving, it's almost a waste of time. We're just doing it for their own record keeping,
right.
Not because it actually is beneficial to them with their tax appointment. It's not, you can put that number in, like you said, but it's not really going to make that substantial difference.
It's filed in that magic room where the other ones are filed at that nobody ever sees.
Nobody ever sees.
So,
where the funeral resolutions go?
Resolutions.
Where a resolution will be placed on file.
That invisible room
in the archives of our church. I ain't seen them resolutions yet, bro, and I signed all of them. But yeah, so I wish more of our people would, but it would require a different level of giving, obviously. And what all fits into that? Because, okay, have you seen people maybe lie about what they're giving or try to find some kind of deduction through that?
How do you lie? You got to have paperwork for it, right?
People just...
They try with charity.
Okay. Talk about it a little bit. Expound on that.
I donated a couch.
Okay.
That old raggedy
And it was worth
dog stained couch. Well, when exactly? Okay,
you do get to do that. You get to put value on them bags of clothes you've been taking to the mission. You be like,
but even if you did, say would you say single was like 12,000 or whatever it is? If you gave that, how big of a difference would it make?
None.
See, wow. So it don't even matter.
So his question at the end, in other words, would increased giving help us more come tax time? Really, it's not as substantial.
No, you know what? For this show, your increased giving is going to help. It's going to get you greater taxes.
Listen, y'all, the more you give, what you say, give until it hurts.
The more you give, the more he will give. The Lord will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive.
You know what, Jeff? It's been a few weeks since I've said that. I need to pull that back out. We got the windows. But I've had a line that I've been saying recently. I probably started about 2 or 3 years ago. And one of my lines about that was, there's a lot more wisdom we should be exercising when we do get these lump sums of money. And I want to talk about some of the things we could do better. But one of the things, since we're talking about the church and taxes and things like that, is I really believe that if you are a person who has struggled all year long, maybe you have depended on different charities and assistances, this is a good time to give back. If you do have a little bit of money, I'm not talking about your whole thing, but if you're getting $10,000 back and you could write $200 to that food bank or that charitable organization, then I feel like there's a lot that's wasted in the black community and our mentalities of just getting. I can ball out. I can buy shoes for my, kids, and that's all necessary. It's needed, no doubt about it. But I also feel like those individuals, it would be good, and I wish it was a quality of our community if we thought, you know what, I've had to stop by that church 5 times this year to get a bag of groceries, these people do good work in our community. I want to give back. What do you feel like, besides that, what could we be doing better with the funds that we get in our community?
Well, they need to start saving, for one.
Okay.
But that's true. Give back to the community, the churches. But they need to invest a little bit with their money, instead of just, like you said, going and buying outfits to go to the club and getting your hair done and all of that.
Stop going to I'll Get You Right Motors. They got a 2023 BMW with 700,000 miles on it, and they're trying to sell it for $2,000.
It's owned by Sefri Janford over there on Glenwood Avenue in Youngstown.
And that's another thing. They go out and buy cars every year and have them for 6-7 months, and then they get repoed. And then they do the same thing again.
All over again. And let's talk about, there's an entire industry. And something that kind of burns me up as a pastor is that there's always this talk, church taking my money, pastor want all my money, and all this kind of, just rhetoric. There are so many entities and systems set up to rob black people of their money, but we're almost like trained. And I'm not saying that there's a lot of clowns out there, and I would tell you in a heartbeat, like, yeah, you probably shouldn't go over there. He just wants your money. But we're so trained to attack in one direction. We don't talk about buy here, pay here. We don't talk about elevated used car prices that just only happen between January and we don't talk about how Beyonce just came out with a tour. Come on.
$1,000 tickets.
Everybody, hey, listen, she know they got it. She know they got it.
Right at the right time.
Tickets.
Right at the right time.
Right. But just the exploitation that exists broader. And a lot of it is centered around this time of year. It's centered around, we know that individuals who do not have good saving habits, who are looking forward to a vacation, all the flights, all the vacations, all this, it's like right out there. And I've watched people I love do that. And I'm like, please don't go book you a vacation as soon as you get your taxes back. Please don't run to the outlet in the mall. But there's this stigma of, I bet you the preacher want my money. And it's like, yeah, in a way, yeah. Of course, that's what we do. We want you to give and be faithful and all that. But you're overlooking so many other things. I said it last Sunday in church. I said, you get up and say the church took all your money. The bar took all your money, really. That's what really happened. The bar took all your money. Because you can, you can go one VIP and spend more that night. But listen. Jeff know how much it costs.
Popping bottles, baby.
I'm just
Get
saying.
that VIP, you know what I mean?
If we're going to talk, and I know we're switching gears, but if we're going to talk about what's taking out of us, church on the corner is not that place anymore. You know what I mean? Like in the way we think about it. We're looking at TV guy, we're looking at, mega person, but really there are so many entities and so many habits we have that are robbing us of our wealth.
And let's be honest, Todd, because we don't even live in a community anymore. We don't, that standard of, what we're going through. When was the last time you checked your tithes list? Who gives?
Oh, never.
That's what back in the day, you know what I'm saying? They used to know who was the biggest giver.
They put you on the wall, Doc.
They put you on Front Street.
They showed me an old bulletin. They used to have everybody's names in the bulletin.
I mean, we don't do that anymore.
I'm like, this is raw. Bring this back. I'm like, and like 90% of the list was all zeros. I'm like, this is crazy.
And it's like, okay, you work at GM and you giving, $10 a week. No, that is not your tithes. But we don't go there anymore. It's like give what you can give. We don't even stress the giving anymore. But like you said, you go to that club, you balling out, and you balling out for somebody who really could care less about you.
Weed man got all your tithe money. That's the truth of the matter. Yeah, you know what I should do? We should put some tithe boxes outside the tax places. Be like, yo.
It wouldn't matter because most of them get them now. You can get them, electronically gone right to your bank account or sent to your home.
I'll put a QR code or something up, a barcode, a Cash App. Hey, 10%, Doc. Listen, Carlisha did like, this is what you're getting. 10%, Doc.
Carlisha, we could actually get you a little side gig. You could tell us when some of our members come to your.
Because you know how they go. You know how when you're at Walmart and you're getting ready to buy, they're like, would you like to round up and give to the Ronald McDonald House? I'm about to have Carlisha like, would you like to round up and give to Second Baptist Church, a house of hope, and help your community? It's a good idea. It's a partnership. You're going to talk offline.
All right.
We're going to work this out. We've been right. She's not co-signing on any of this. Y'all notice that? She's staying neutral. So some laws came out the year before about all of these, speaking of mobile payment apps, about having to report Cash Apps, Venmos, PayPals, and I think the threshold was $600.
Right.
Can you talk to us about that? I know there was like a pause or some kind of interruption, but can you talk to what it's meant to do and what it will do when it's in effect?
Well, I think they just trying to be in everybody's business.
Right.
That's what I think. But
because whose business is it if Pastor Jeff is Cash Apping somebody $40? You know what I'm saying?
Because some of it is not
Come
just
on,
business.
don't
I mean,
come
you
with that
Cash App your
$40.
kids. I mean, you
That
Cash
was
App
my
your
wife
kids
on here.
money
Shamika ain't
too.
on here.
My wife is on.
Don't be putting that out there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Don't put that in the atmosphere.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Carlisha.
No, I mean, because you Cash App your kids, your family members, all of that's not business. But They want you to pay taxes on everything now, anything and everything.
And is it true that Cash App, you can file your taxes through Cash App?
Yeah.
What?
You can do your taxes through Credit Karma too.
You can file your taxes through PlayStation Plus. you can file it through Facebook. Speaking of which, how about people who are making money like that? For instance, Facebook and Twitter and different ones, you can monetize posts now. People are getting. What do we have to report, I guess, is the question. Is it any and all income? You got to bring all of that to the table. And is there any that slips through that you don't have to, or what?
Well, a lot of stuff slipped through, but yeah, they say you're supposed to report it all, but they're not. I mean, they're supposed to issue them a 1099. That's
Okay.
what they're supposed to issue once you get over $600. Whoever your Facebook supposed to send it to you, or Instagram, or whoever you're doing business with, that's who's supposed to issue. If they don't issue it, no one's claiming it. I guarantee you, no one's claiming it.
Well, here's a secret. Here's a secret of the preacher world, man. Every preacher knows that angry moment when you get that 1099 from a church. And you're like, oh, they about to report this.
Yep.
I thought that was a love offering. And now I got to put this on the end of it. But yeah, they do it. I mean, I get 1099s when I speak at churches or for organizations.
Anything over
and stuff.
500, right?
Anything that's over, you know.
Six. It's supposed to be 6.
Yeah, anything over 6, you know, we do that. And that's, I get it. You know what I mean? You want to be above board. Our church does that. You know, sometimes people look a little funky, but I'm like, you know, you never know what could come back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what could come back on you. In the days of, because I be, you know, the old school preachers, they be like, yo, just give money and you don't have to report that. They have probably like drug dealers, like, yeah, take this roll right here. They give you the envelope in the back. We can't pay you for the gospel, but we can show you we appreciate
Oh,
you.
I like that. Pastor Harrison said, what if you do 2 $300 checks?
Oh, see, he's trying to get over. Come on, Pastor. Come on with your money laundering self.
See, that's
Go
the
on
old
ahead.
school. That's the old
That's
school
old
stuff.
school.
He know.
We're going to split this up. Tell us some old Southern tricks. So if you do 2 $300 checks,
It still add up to 600.
what if they paid me $300 for the prayer and $300 for the preaching and another $200 for the offering?
If they didn't issue you a 1099,
Hey, Doc, you know what to do.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you in March.
When you have us over preaching, just
give him cash.
Hold that,
give us one week and send us one the next week.
hold that joint till we get the Red Lobster after church. But that's how we used to do. The whole church was built off envelopes.
Oh yeah.
Everybody got paid. The musicians, the preacher. I mean, listen. One time I got a bag of coins one time. I'm not going to say which church it was, but I had to take the whole church van to McDonald's.
I'm sorry, man. Dang. Jesus. I'm sorry.
It wasn't nobody in town, but it was hilarious, man. When they said they was taking up a speaker's offering, they was for real. Like the little 2-year-old with pennies. I got them pennies. I was like, all right, well, God, I thought y'all was going to write one check, but okay. God bless you.
Bless the Lord.
Now I got to feed my choir nuggets on the way home. So we can't see your comments, Sister Carter. If you got any questions, okay. She's putting up pictures. Okay, I hope they're appropriate. If you have any questions for our tax expert today, we're talking with Carlisha Miller of CSM Tax Services, and yes, we're giving free plugs tonight. She is right here in Warren, Ohio. You can look her up on Facebook, make an appointment with her. You want to give us a phone number where they can call you at?
Yeah, it's 330-984-7743.
Does that spell something out like yo tax one ball out? Like you need something like that. You like 1-888 ball out. I'm trying to help you out. Trying to give you some marketing. Come on, Big Mike, what you got?
Now you said you used to work for a corporate tax place before, right? Before
Jackson
you
Hewitt.
went on Jackson Hewitt.
She's just calling them out.
What surprised you the most from working from corporate to coming to working for yourself? I mean, was there something you saw at corporate like, I can't believe they was doing this and just things like that?
I can't believe they was charging that much.
Wow.
I'm like, are you serious?
Now they charge you for each form they have to fill out, right? So even though they just punching in a couple of numbers, they can charge you $200-$300 for that specific form.
$400 or $500.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. All right.
See, this is education we need. I mean, to know what's going on when you're sitting down, because it might seem more convenient. And obviously, and here's the thing about us, and I think we forget, and we're talking Black culture, it's well known that black people are brand people.
Right.
And sometimes we feel like we're not doing something legitimate if it's not, based on a brand. So it's Nike, right? It's Prada, it's this, but it's also Jackson Hewitt and some of them. Like, you feel more legitimate.
Well, I think
Even though it's not, you feel more legitimate. Like, well, I went to a real tax place. That's what
I
people
also
were
think,
saying.
Pastor Todd, that when we are so used to not having very much throughout the year, when they say they're giving you $7,000, you like, okay, it's worth the $1,000 that they take away, and it's not.
That's bad. Yeah, that's true. It's bad thinking. That's the same people who have an 18% car,
Right.
I mean, that's
because I got a car, just because I had to get it somehow.
But I think that's the problem, is sometimes we mix harsh realities with choices we don't realize we have.
Right.
So if your credit's not great, maybe you do have to bite the bullet for a year or two, and prayerfully, I actually went through that. My very first year, my very first car, I bought my brother's car off of him, so I already knew I had the car, and I worked at the bank. And the guy was like, I can get you in this, but it's going to be like this, but do it for 1 year and we can knock you all the way down to this. Now, that's only if you actually do it and bite the bullet for that 1 year and do what you need to do, or like negative equity. But in this realm, you have choices. You have a choice to go to another reputable person or company that won't charge you that. But unfortunately, those worlds are kind of together. So people feel like the same lack of choice they have at the car lot, they also have at the tax place. And maybe you don't have the same. Maybe you do have to do it, but you don't have to do it here. And I think that's something we have to educate our people on. I want to kind of unpack that a little bit with Carlisha is, do you run into people who feel like you're less than legitimate because you're an independent, or they just, you just feel that they might view you that way? Well, you're not the corporate place. You don't have the corporate backing. And, we do each other that way so much. Can you talk about why that's not a good way to think about, services like yours and others who do it the right way?
Yeah, because I do the same thing they do. I can give you the cash advance. Whatever Jackson Hewitt or H&R Block can do, I can do.
Wow.
Far as, they looking for that cash advance. That's the big thing they're looking for.
Okay.
I can do that.
But I think the vision people have is corporate place looks, feels like so they can do it, and but you have to continue to educate people in that. And do you find, being a community person, are people too common, or I don't want to say disrespectful, but they don't treat you as professionally as you deserve because you're an independent proprietor and you're not in some office with white folk in the back room and some manager coming out? Like, what can we learn from some experiences that you're...
A lot of people be like, I'm not going to her. I don't want to give her my information.
Nice.
There it is.
Right.
Yeah. I think that affects us in financial matters. That's actually a big stigma with, the funeral business, or, if you have to get life insurance and health insurance, anything that involves us having to give up information. I've talked to, and we've had Sterling on before, there are some people who, even though it's going to happen, they don't want to sit down and have that conversation about, setting up your arrangements, for death. Not just because they're scared of death. Some of them don't want to sit there and go through the list. Maybe something happened in your family. There's another kid somewhere. Something's going on. And they don't want to sit down and have that conversation about how, you do have more than what's sitting in this house or whatever. Because that's what's going to show up in the paper eventually.
Right.
But like, just the whole idea of personal information, people knowing your business.
Right.
Knowing what you made.
Yep.
Knowing what you didn't make. There it is.
We don't trust black.
We don't trust black.
Well,
Willie Lynch syndrome.
And I know that your wife is a lot different, but I know there's probably a lot of people who don't want to go to 717.
Oh yeah,
because your wife. I don't mind going. I got a little bit of money.
Yeah, they drive right. Yeah, they ride. They're like, I want to talk to somebody else right quick.
But
Did she move branches? They be like, shoot.
Can you talk a little bit about the importance of city taxes? I think a lot of times we we always talk about the federal and the state, but we overlook city. And I know I done it because I'm like, I know, I don't owe nothing.
Yeah,
so I had to back.
I owe a little bit.
I had to backtrack on my city.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to pay that city tax too. I mean, it usually clear out even. City taxes.
Right.
If you withhold right.
Yeah, it's usually even. But if not, you still should. You got to do it. Shoot, they was putting out warrants for people
Warrants?
not paying their city taxes. Yes, they were knocking on people's doors.
All right, let me go on ahead and take care of this. Trying to remember office.
We're Pastor out. He ain't here to preach.
Right. Live.
What is the
clink.
what is the, and I know I've never done it, so I'm asking this question, maybe somebody else. What is they always talk about the penalty after April. What's the deadline? April what?
April 18th.
What is the penalty?
What is the penalty after April 18th if you don't?
Well,
do it
if
by-
you don't owe, they don't penalize you. Like if you're getting money back, you don't get penalized. But if you do owe, you do get penalized. So I don't know, like exactly. It depends on how much you owe for you to get penalized. Yeah. But if I file your taxes afterwards and you're getting a refund back, they're not going to penalize you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. 'Cause
yeah.
it's made to feel like such a drop dead date. Like,
Right.
again, somebody's going to be at your door.
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
What causes or for what reasons do people get audited? I mean, is there something that they're doing wrong to get audited, or do they just pick a number out of a hat? How does that whole process
sometimes they
work?
just pick people and audit it, and then sometimes you ain't never filed kids before, and now all of a sudden you got kids on your refund.
Yeah, one
So
year I had like 7.
they usually stop it to verify, is these your kids? Yeah,
Like jumps in income, like sudden jumps in.
and small businesses.
Okay.
That's the big thing this year and last year was the small business.
If your
Surprise,
mother
surprise.
if your mother's name is Mary Sue and your daughter's name is Shaniqua, yeah, you about to get audited.
You about to be audited.
They're about to catch you.
Somebody did say, I saw on Facebook, somebody said, I don't see a lot of y'all on Facebook bragging a lot about your taxes and stuff. They said, what's the problem? Like, what's the PPP problem?
Everybody quiet now.
Okay, so can we talk a little bit about that? So what does that create for those people that may have done some of these applications for PPP loans and all that? Is that going to come back around to these individuals?
Yes, I believe it is. I mean, they were sending out letters to some people. Some people lost their Section 8 behind that because they didn't report that income. So once they seen that name on that list, they was like, well, where did this income come from? This was never reported to us. So, yeah.
Wow.
And I think people are often loud and braggadocious about, I'm getting over and all, but they don't talk about getting caught. Nobody wants to talk about something didn't work out for me or something didn't go right or it came through. So, I mean, I hate to see it because, again, I know some people who do work at banks and they were talking about what they were already seeing with people getting caught up. The banks that were giving out the loans, they're calling people to the back and saying, hey, we're about to lock your funds up and such and file charges. So, I hate to say it was such a joke and a get over and all that. It's serious ramifications for people's futures that I don't think they're considering in a real way. We got another one from Big CJ.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for people that are in like that 21 to 35 age, are there any secrets that they need to know about filing taxes?
With no kids, no dependents,
No
or
kids, no dependent, anything like that?
just file 0.
Get you some kids. That's my tip. My life changed forever.
Multiply and replenish the earth.
Before multiply. Shoot. If you have any questions you'd like to ask Carlisha, please. I mean, she's a wealth of information right now. What do we need to know? Like, do you see any trends happening in the future, whether it's in our community or taxes in general? Like, you need to prepare better for this because it's kind of going this way. Like, you might as well get used to it being like this, or things we used to do, you can't do like that. What would you say?
It seemed like it's dwindling down. Like each year you get less money back. So with this money that you get now, just try to save, try to invest in something, do better. That's
Gotcha. You heard it here, folks. She's saying do better. And I can't imagine how much money passes through our community at tax time that by May, it's all but gone. By May it's all but gone. And I'm not trying to come down hard because I think she said it well at the beginning that you are talking about a culture of struggle. And there's often a lot of lack there. And that is the only release. That is the time to go get furniture. That is the time to get the clothes for your babies, summertime and all this. I get it. But I also know I've gone through this with lump sums of money. You stop thinking about the value of things and budgeting and cost comparisons and what you can do without. You stop thinking in that discretionary manner when you have so much until it's gone. And that's we paint like superstars and rappers that lost all their money, but we do it every year.
Absolutely.
And I've been there, and my wife and I had to have some come to Jesus conversations like, man, how do we kind of run through that? Like, and we're not bad people. We're not balling out. We're like, but we just lived more loosely than we
when you got money, you do.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do before you know it, man.
Yeah.
You be on $200 and you're like, all right, I gotta stop.
I gotta stop.
I gotta slow down. I gotta slow down this.
My mortgage is due.
How many years?
Rosalind Hill has a question. Say, how many years of
Sounds
unfiled?
awfully personal, Rosalind. How many years of unfiled taxes before they start looking for you? Who is they?
The men in black. Men in black. They're gonna erase your memory.
Oh man. So what do you think? How far can you get away with this?
Probably about 3 to 4 years.
Okay, and we're talking at the federal level.
Yeah.
And so when you do that, so if you don't file for 3 or 4 years and then you file one time real quick, I mean, you don't get penalized and you can get all that money back.
Well, I filed somebody's taxes. I think it was last year. They hadn't filed for about 3-4 years. I didn't see anything. I never seen them, get penalized or anything like that out of that. But yeah, they got all their money back. Every last penny of it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Well, so what do you see when we see people like, they use him as an example, but like a Donald Trump or people who get away with not filing or paying their taxes? They've just mastered the tax law and have people who know how to do so much.
Yes, Donald did.
Donald did. Do you know of people at a lower level? And I'm not saying anybody, but is that something the average person can do? Are there certain things people can do to alleviate their tax burden or take advantage of tax loopholes if they're not a millionaire, basically? Or do you just have to be at that level to be able to kind of take advantage of that?
I would say you have to be at that level. I haven't seen it like with the people that I filed with. No. The customers I have. No.
Can I ask a question of people like Pastor Harrison, Pastor Todd? I don't think it's wrong for us to say, I know it's tax time. Do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's wrong? I mean, because
I've been using the you should think about giving back. That's what I've been using. I have not been saying I know it's tax. I used to say that more explicitly, but I haven't in a few years. I haven't. What I've said, like I said recently, is for those of you that may not normally give a lot, this is a good time to give back. But I always qualify it. It doesn't have to be church. And of course, I'd love for people to give to church, but I just think about your community in general. Think about those people, the old ladies at the mission down there that are making sure y'all are straight. Like, why wouldn't you give something back or try to show some support or love? When I include the church in that. But I know exactly what you're saying.
And so I mean, do you?
You owe God 10% of that $10,000.
Right, but
come off it. Come off it.
Is it that you tied off of your taxes? Because somebody said that if you tied off of your net or your gross all year long, you don't have to tie it off your income tax.
I would agree with that, but nobody ever does. I don't know a lot of people who do. I would agree with that. If you were tithing off your gross before taxes, which again, we're not checking this stuff anymore.
Right.
So it's not like we're all up. Well, you know what? Let me stop. Because I know of churches, I was upset at a family member who moved to another city, went to a church. First thing they asked for was his W-2. The church asked for it, and he gave it to him. And I said, you're an idiot. You're a pure T idiot because you were taught better than that. We were taught, our father taught us very well. He was a pastor about export. He was never on that. We were never raised on that money crap. So why are you serious? And though they're measuring whether you tithe based off what you gave them in this W-2, which I think I don't believe in that. I believe in tithing. I don't believe in like tracking folks' lives and incomes and bank accounts and all that junk. I don't. And I wish people would stop the games, with that stuff because it's real. And a lot of preachers are, and people believe in it. And that's the sucky part is because people tie their blessings to the church, the man of God, this, that, or the other. There are a lot of people who take the time to exploit that because they know that people believe what they say, just like any other Sunday. And if you give this much, God's going to bless you this much. And I'm not saying that maybe God may bless you if you're being very sacrificial. That's great. But to put it as like a weight on people,
right.
like something that people are believing and gullible, I just feel like that's exploitative. I mean, what's your take, Pastor Jeff?
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And I think oftentimes, you see these commercials. And they'll tell you it's tax time. Come down and get your brand new car. They'll
the
say,
mattress place do it. Why can't the church?
It's not like, I don't think that we're being ignorant. Pastor Harrison said it. Tax time, remember the place that acknowledged and supported you. And I think it's a good thing to do. And I mean, it may just be, it may just remind somebody, that you can give a little extra at this moment. You know what I mean? You can give a little extra. I'm not asking you to even give your whole, have 10% of your whole tax, but just give a little extra at this moment. The church is struggling. We all struggling. We all need a little help,
Right.
So Rosetta Carter says, what do you need to know about payment plans?
If you owe, just call the IRS and set up a payment plan. Pay what you can afford.
Now, do they have like a minimum you have to do, or they go by your income, or I mean, what do they?
No, they usually just set up whatever you can afford. You don't have to. I mean, I know people that pay $50 a month or $50 to pay.
Right.
Yeah.
He said before you buy that new iPhone, give something to the Lord. Give something he ain't wrong.
Now, what if you owe, say you do your taxes and you owe, I don't know, $3,000 or whatever, and you don't pay that? How long does it take for them to track you? Or do they even come after you? How long does it take? Was there a penalty? What's that process?
Of course, the IRS go get their money. They know.
They want their money.
Because I know, some girl filed her taxes. And when she added on the third one, she didn't want to file that one. Okay. But when you submit it to the IRS, eventually they might hold your taxes up and be like, well, you have another W-2 out there.
Wow.
Because they know what you get, because you have to have those forms sent to the IRS. So they know exactly how much money that you had made out the year. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this real quick, because we know that you're supposed to have your W-2s or whatever by the 30th or
31st is supposed to be postmarked by the 31st.
Okay, and so what if they don't give them to you by then?
Well, they can get in trouble, but a lot of people this year didn't have theirs out on time. So
they're not out on time. Are you required, like, let's just say I had a couple engagements. Let's say I had, because I did last year. 2 of the churches sent theirs, 1 of them didn't. Do I have to report it if they don't send it?
I mean, you don't have to.
But what if they reported it, but I never got it? I mean, does that put me in a
You going to jail, nigga?
out the pulpit?
So they never sent it to you at all?
Like Pastor got hemmed up while he was preaching. Like, out the pool. They pulled him out the baptism. What if it was while I was baptized? And that'd be the worst. They'd be like,
hey, IRS gonna come in and talk about, get your hand out of his pocket.
head out his pocket. Wet and everything. So if they didn't send it, like I legitimately got lost in the mail. They didn't get it to me, but maybe they did submit.
Mm-hmm.
Does that put me in a bind? I didn't know that they,
No, but you can request your transcripts from them to get from the
entity
IRS.
itself. From the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
gotcha. So if you don't get something from that job or that employer or that contract or whatever, you could get it from the IRS
Right,
if they filed it.
So what happens, and I know this happens a lot because people move around. They get jobs, and they get a different job, and they get a different job. And at the end of the year, you might get 3 of them, and you're in a hurry to get your stuff filed. So you go file it, but then you forgot, I worked at KFC too, and they send it a little bit later. Do you have to go back and add that?
You have to amend it. You have to wait till you get your refund money back, and then you have to amend it.
On amended filing.
Yep.
Got it. Well,
Excuse me.
Carlisha, you've been amazing, answering all of our questions, professional. I want to shout out again, CSM Tax Service. Don't let these other people take all your money. That's yours. That's what you've earned. Come to someone first of all, come to Carlicia. But if there's someone in your area where you live, you can support a local black business or someone that's doing it the right way, legally certified. Are there certain certifications you have to have? You got like a doctorate in math, tax,
IRS school.
You just
Dr.
you can
Tax. That's a good name, though. You should think about that.
No,
Dr.
you just
Tax.
have to pass certain tests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pass
Yeah.
it. So the fraudsters be passing them too, and then they just be frauding people. Basically, what you're saying.
Real quick before we close, do you guys have a special number for the IRS that we don't got? Because they don't answer
you
the
can
phone.
get through to?
They, I know y'all got
They
a
give you
special
like a
number.
red
I know
phone that
it's
we
a
don't
special
have?
number.
They give you like a Nokia phone that dials directly to the basement.
I dial the same number y'all
You
dial.
do? I don't believe it. Nah,
Yes,
nah,
yes.
nah.
Somebody got a number to get through to them.
You just got to listen to the prompts and know what to push.
You gotta know what to push. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, she has some secrets.
Yeah, it's a secret.
And she get on there and be like, up, down, left, right, BA, select, start.
They're like, hey, Carlicia, how you
She
doing?
got that contra code with 100 lines. That's what she got. Okay, well, appreciate you being on. You know, I'll talk to you later because I know you got some extra social security numbers back in the office for me. So I'll talk to you later because we're going to get this money. Carly, tell them folk to get their taxes tied to somebody's church. Go ahead and tell them. Tell them to give some money to somebody's church.
Hey.
Give Second Baptist your money.
Give Second I love it. Hey, give a little bit to Jeff too, man. Show the East Side some love. Y'all don't love the East Side?
So crazy.
Hey, man, we appreciate it. This is what we're about, talking this kind of stuff out with knowledgeable people. Make sure you check her out. You get your W-2s back probably this week, a lot of y'all. Come in, do it the right way, do it the legal way. We appreciate it. What's that phone number one more time? We're going to put it in the comments.
330-984
Later.
7743.
take walk-ins?
7743.
Yes.
Take walk-ins. What's the time?
Walk-in.
Well, see, I work a full-time job.
She works a
so
job.
when I
So
come
call.
from, call, and then I set it
you
up
get
from
in
there.
when you fit in. All right. She might be cooking ribs back here. You don't know.
Hey.
Hey, they be hooking you up. They got food. They got chips.
food.
It's like a whole club back there. I said, she doing well. She got new chairs. It's going all right. Thank y'all for watching so much. We hope you were informed and entertained. This is Religiously Incorrect. We got some great shows coming up. We're going to do a special Super Bowl show next week, live from the Super Bowl. Jeff and I will be there. Live from the Super Bowl, right? We're interviewing Mahomes.
We're there.
What's the other guy?
I don't even know
Jalen
who's playing,
Hurts.
to be honest.
Jalen Hurts. You said Jason.
I
Is it
said, I don't
Jalen?
know who playing. I don't even watch. It ain't Cleveland Browns. I know that much.
It'll never be them. I mean, we know that. I mean, that's
The
just
devil is a liar.
that's just is what it
We go
is.
get it one year.
Yeah, when y'all join the AFL, you know, y'all gonna get it. Until next week, we'll see you next year at Sunday night service. Y'all take care.